point, and today marks 1 year since Russia began its invasion of Ukraine. Since then, at least 8,000 Ukrainian civilians have been killed and 14 million people have been displaced. Among those who have been particularly vulnerable in the past year is Ukraine's LGBT community. Amid the turmoil, there have been dozens of reports of Russian troops carrying out homophobic attacks, as the Drum's Michael Forno explains.
As we go to air tonight, Ukraine is under full-scale Russian assault.
Loud explosions have been now heard in Ukraine.
The Russian military has begun a brutal assault on the people of Ukraine. Without provocation, without justification.
It's the biggest military assault in Europe since the Second World War.
This is a deliberate, cold-blooded and long-planned invasion.
Despite heavy bombardment and scenes of devastation, Ukraine has largely held strong. The country's resolve embodied by charismatic leader Volodymyr Zelensky.
We have no fear, nor should anyone in the world have it.
And typified in its fending off of Russia's advance towards the capital Kiev last March. Russia's advances have largely been contained to the regions of Luhansk and Donetsk in the east and Kherson and Zaporizhia in the south, with Ukraine reclaiming up to 50% of the land at one time claimed by Russia. Among the many drivers behind Russia's invasion is a rejection of Western liberalism.
Homophobia, transphobia are in many ways woven into kind of geopolitical ideology or story that is being used by Putin. According to this idea, the West is attacking Russia militarily, economically, but also in the kind of spiritual, moral realm. And this is where LGBTI rights come in.
In a speech earlier this week, the Russian leader weaponized what he characterized as the West's corrupt values.
Look at what they do to their own people. The destruction of the family, perversion and abuse of children, including pedophilia, all of which are declared normal in their life. They are forcing the priests to bless same-sex marriages.
For LGBT Ukrainians living in territory under Russian control, that rhetoric has had dire consequences.
We received a few reports from occupied Kherson when it was occupied, and about rapes of the local boys by Russian occupied forces. Those young boys were raped, and two of them committed suicide after this.
Rights group Nash Svit says it's received reports of around 40 trans and homophobic attacks committed by Russian forces, including sexual violence and kidnapping. But they say such attacks are massively underreported.
Victims do not want to talk about their experiences. Getting information from those territories is a very difficult task. LGBT people just cannot afford to be open.
With both sides preparing for major spring offensives, it's unlikely life on the ground will get easier anytime soon. And advocates are worried as the war grinds on, LGBT rights will fall by the wayside.